Critical Path, Greater Vancouver REALTORS' new podcast, exploring professionalism and innovation in real estate. Every month, we'll sit down with industry leaders to discuss critical issues facing realtors and the paths we must take to overcome them. Now, I'm not a realtor, just a humble communication specialist, but I've been with GVR for 15 years. And in that time, I've seen how being professional and staying ahead of the curve has been a path to success for our members. But as changes shift the landscape, regulation, legislation, technology, it's also rarely an easy path to tread. To guide your professional organization through this critical juncture, Greater Vancouver REALTORS have developed a new 3-year strategic plan with a focus on professionalism and innovation. And to share more about this plan that we're calling Real Estate Reimagined, we're really happy to have Jeff King, our CEO, as today's first guest. Jeff was recently named one of the top 20 dynamic CEOs in Canada by the CEO publication, and he's been busy engaging with members, doing the research with our senior leadership team to map out the way ahead. So Jeff, thanks for being here today. This is really exciting. This is our first go at this, and
Great.
This is a really natural first step for us because there's so much happening right now in the world around us, and planning has never been more important than ever. So we have this brand new plan for reimagining real estate. Tell me a little bit about it. What does this plan mean?
Okay. Thanks for having me on. It's great to be here, and I love your studio. It's fantastic. There's an old adage that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, and there's a lot of truth to that. You need to be organized and have ways to marshal your resources and have different milestones on how to execute on those. And so RevGV had long had a history of developing strategic plans. And the last strategic plan was prepared during the peak of COVID, the initial lockdown, spring of 2020.
Very different time.
Very different time. And it was a generally conservative plan, which made sense. The industry and the company itself are in a different place. We've since emerged from that. It's different again, and there's new challenges and the like. But really what the strategic plan does is it gives us a view of what we think the world will look like in 3, 4, 5 years, and how we would like it to look, and different ways we can do things to help us achieve that. So the vision is Real Estate Reimagined, as you mentioned, and our mission really is around leading professionalism and innovation in real estate. We built an operational plan supporting that, but there's 3 main pillars: operational excellence, industry leadership, and product innovation. And so all our work is going to be focused around these 3 pillars that we're going to be driving towards, and that's what the members and the general public and the employees will see.
It's really critical, those 3 pillars, I think, when we're looking at this plan, because those are really kind of guiding everything that we do moving forward, right?
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned, we've made plans in the past. We're very good at planning. What makes this plan different? What makes this plan stand out?
I think the other plans were good and did a good job and helped get the organization to the level of success where we're at now. What I really like about this one is that it's crisp and easy to relate to. The vision itself is quite memorable. It's just a couple of words, and I find those are the best strategies, really. The other additional part is that we're built in a number of key performance indicators and metrics into the operational plan around how we're successful and how we can sort of see how we're doing. It helps us not anticipate that age-old question. Okay, you say you're great, prove it. Mm-hmm. And then we'll be able to say, member satisfaction is up. By the way, our member satisfaction is quite high. Mm-hmm. The net promoter score for RevGV is 56%, which is exceptional. And that's the people who rate us positively minus the people who rate us negatively.
Okay.
Anything over 40% is viewed as terrific.
Okay.
And 56 is amazing. Mm-hmm. And we have plans to increase that. But I like the succinct nature of the plan, and I like that it's building off of the strengths that the organization has. A committed workforce, strong relationships with membership, and building relationships with other stakeholders in industry, which we put a lot of effort into in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. And that really dovetails into the professionalism side of this, because it takes a lot to raise the bar on professionalism, right? So we're stating in this plan that we're going to lead the country in professionalism. What are some of the examples of some of the strategies and the tactics we're going to use to get there?
That's a great lead in, because for decades in our research, we found numerous mentions about raising the bar for professionalism in real estate and other professions, but we're focused on real estate, of course. There's a lot of talk about it, not a lot of action.
Mm-hmm.
And so the strategy has existed in organized real estate from different perspectives for a long time.
It feels like professionalism has been a word we've heard a lot over the last several years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the people had trouble sort of defining it. So
Right.
we put a lot of effort into building it. And we had a position paper developed by outside folks that looked at different professions, different things that they did. And then we built out an action plan coming out of that. And there's about 28 or so different unique action items that we've curated.
Mm-hmm.
They range from the new Realtor Oath, which has been very well received.
Mm-hmm.
Oaths and pledges have existed for generations, like
Mm-hmm.
thousands of years. Hippocrates that did one for physicians. But there's something about making a declaration publicly that helps address this.
Well, even just to yourself, like when we would make these videos, I would think this is the kind of thing you might just wake up and say to yourself in the morning every day, starting your day, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do this, right?
Yeah.
And so there's that part of it. There's other elements around dealing with poor behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So people
Mm-hmm.
who are flagrantly unprofessional, we want them out.
Right.
They shouldn't be part of what
Mm-hmm.
we're doing. But also addressing other things like common courtesy. That's been one of the big surprises for me coming into this industry. I've only been here a couple of years, but a lot of the issues and challenges that realtors have is around getting people to call them back
Mm-hmm.
and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. I think there's things we can do to help correct those types of elements.
Yeah.
And then I think there's some professional development pieces, including for the people who don't do deals regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And to help them to keep up to speed. A certain percentage of all the real estate agents across North America do deals every other year, every third year
Mm-hmm.
type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the skills can lose their sharpness. So we're coming up with different ways to handle that. And then the final sort of part is around the different elements around the barrier to entry.
Mm-hmm.
We want to have a high standard so that it's recognized not just as a job, but as a profession, and the level of
Get away from the signposts, the telephone poles with the pass your real estate exam for $99. Right?
The license mills and all those things
Mm-hmm.
are an issue.
Yeah.
But I think there's by weaving those types of things in, you're right, and with the theme of our overall strategy about embracing technology and innovation.
Mm-hmm.
It tells a very complete story.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it's for sure. We're also thinking about other ways to kind of use our data in ways that we haven't done before that'll benefit our members. What are some of the things we're working on there?
There's a number of elements, but one of the first ones that the members will see is that we're going to have an economics microsite
Mm-hmm.
that'll be launched in the coming weeks, and it'll give more granular view of what's going on in different elements of the marketplace,
Mm-hmm.
and easier to package, and different things that realtors can share with their clients and help them make better informed decisions, and different elements like that. We're also working on new tools around how they can handle their listings themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And different elements around wording and some early work around AI around descriptors to help have a greater success rate and help with click-throughs and greater stats around even around usage.
Mm-hmm.
We've done some early testing that shows once a listing gets shared, the likelihood of someone coming to see that property goes way up. Well, if it gets shared more than once, it doubles again.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also looking at different ways to help tailor the experience, because some people are very focused on kitchens or family rooms or what's the backyard look like. And there's ways to sort of build the MLS package differently to make it a better, more fulsome experience, both for the realtor and for the client on the end.
I think that's very critical because just of how much data is out there now, right? And how much more educated a potential buyer is these days, and how much more specific they want to be about certain things that they're looking for.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
It's unreal. And and people are better educated and more focused on these different elements. And we've got a wealth of information here that we can package up into different ways for the members to use
Mm-hmm.
to help them be more successful and help their clients succeed.
Yeah, better data is always a good thing, right?
Oh yeah,
it always helps with making the best choices and the best decisions moving forward. So, a way to help members really get the data that their clients are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a very key part of this plan. Now, you've talked a lot about the microsite, the professionalism work that's coming. It all sounds very ambitious. How does the organization need to evolve to keep up with this plan?
Well, there's a couple elements. One of the ones is one of our internally focused projects is around service reimagined. And we're taking a look at how we provide services to our members. And I think there's lots of opportunities for us to streamline that and include things, including more self-service for people who are interested in it, but also changing the way that we make up and how we handle different things to make the experience more seamless, less phone calls being transferred around, fewer, I have to talk to someone to get back to you, all that stuff.
Right.
I think that'll make the experience better. One of the things I've been working hard on doing since my arrival is to move at a very quick pace. I do believe in the speed of business. I think businesses that move quickly tend to outperform the ones that are slower. And I'm working very hard to empower the executive team and the managers to make decisions at the appropriate level so that we can move at that right cadence. And I think that'll help with everyone from frontline staff and also around folks at making sure that we're all pointing in the right direction. And the key to that, making the right decisions, of course, but also the information. So I work very hard around making sure that everyone in the organization, from the summer student who's helping out to the board of directors, sees the same set of information and the statistics and the priority of what we're working on. And I think that really helps organizations crystallize and marshal around common issues and common plans. And that has helped RevGV become stronger and better and frankly, a little bit better performing. And I really want to turbocharge that as we go forward.
Information is so critical to decision making, right?
Yeah.
Which is one of the things that we even hear internally with some of our staff surveys, right?
Yeah.
That speed of decision making is something that we can always work on.
Yeah, absolutely. We're paid to make decisions, and so we should embrace that and run with it. I think those are areas that will be a thing to see a faster, cost efficient, very laser focused, and frankly innovative organization at the end. Now, on the innovation part, you have to give people opportunities to try things.
Right.
Not everything's going to work perfectly, and some things are going to take some adjustment. But let's try our best and let's think it through, and then keep moving forward and not be afraid of it. And that also includes taking an assessment of our workforce. Do we have the right number of people? Do we have the right balance? Do we have too much work for too few people?
Right.
Do we have the right skill set? Do we need more certain technical skills, business technical or information technical, all those types of things? And those are all the parts of the different balancing act. But by doing that, it can help it will marshal us to the point when we get to 2027, 2028, this organization will look and feel different and will have built on the strength that we're coming from now. And we're going to be, the way I look at it, it's kind of like we spent the last little while getting organized to get that jumbo jet ready to take off.
Right.
And then now this podcast is almost like the 747 starting to thunder down the runway.
Yeah.
We're at the beginning stages of this. It's going to be a journey. I can't guarantee there won't be turbulence. There will be turbulence
For sure.
But we're onto something now. And I'm quite excited about it.
It's just in the studio here, right?
Yeah, this was unheard of a year ago. Right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, that leads me into the next kind of part of the discussion is the progress and the tangible results that we can see. I mean, some of it, like you mentioned, the oath, this podcast, with the recently announced pension plan. There's lots of things happening, but by the nature of this plan, they're going to kind of come out incrementally, right?
Correct.
So, what's a great way? How can our members kind of keep track and follow along with what's going on and what's progress is being made on the plan?
There's a variety of ways. So on the macro level, we'll be providing periodic updates, probably every couple of every quarter or so. We'll be providing updates on how we're doing and different milestones that we've achieved and reminders and such. It won't be overly formal. It'll be in sort of in the typical type news information that people are already receiving. But we'll also have other different touch points to remind people about what's gone on and different elements that have happened. It's interesting you mentioned the pension plan, because I'm very excited about that. And I think that has huge potential. From what we can tell, it's the first one in Canada and possibly on the continent. But the average person gets 50,000 bits of information in a month. And it ranges from Jesse's got a checkered shirt on to something happened in some far corner of the world. And oh yeah, RevGV has a pension plan for members now. So we're going to find ways to help organize these types of things so people can do self-serve and find it on our website easier. Our website's going to go through a refresh as part of our rebranding. And we'll be able to look to find those types of elements. And then connected to that, in addition to our own strat plan, we're working very closely with BCRA, the Provincial Association, and also in discussions with CREA, the National Association, to find ways to have a portal so that information is in one spot, because people don't know where to go.
Right.
And so they start hunting around, and they're on the BCFSA site, they're on our site, CREA site, Fraser Valley site, they go everywhere. We want to try to have a portal that people can rely on. And then they say, oh, I'm going to go here. And we also want to explore other methodologies. Not everyone reads their emails religiously. Some people like text. Some people, prefer podcasts. This is how they want to be informed. Some people want one-on-one FaceTime. It depends. Not all of it's doable. We've got over 15,000 members. I can't sit down with all 15,000 of them.
Right.
But we can find ways to try to to communicate with folks in ways that is useful for them. And then they feel connected. They understand what's happening. They're seeing the value for dollar, and they realize that the organization is working for them and with them.
And I can't stress the engagement enough, right? And that's something I think maybe we didn't quite get to, but in a revised or enhanced kind of event strategy, right?
Yes.
We've seen some of that already with some of the events that we put on the last year, trying to revive some more of the social events for members that they love so much and things like that.
Absolutely. To me, our new event strategy, I'm very excited about. So we have a data strategy, which I mentioned briefly. We also have an event strategy. To me, there's kind of two tentpole events. The annual general meeting in the spring, which has a business section to it, but we're bringing in speakers. We're going to do some stuff there to make for some content that I think people will find interesting. Then secondly, our conference with Fraser Valley in the fall for the Pacific West. That's going to be a big deal. The first year was very successful. BCRA is going to be joining us as part of this time around. We've got bigger, better plans around that. And of course, the other elements, the golf tournaments, the different social things, the holiday events, different things geographically around the Lower Mainland. There's a number of different things like that. They'll be more focused and less ad hoc than maybe historically. And I think people will greatly appreciate that. And I'm excited for what that'll end up doing. Our member engagement is extremely high, as I mentioned, and I want us to push it higher.
I think there's no reason why we can't take that to the next level, because really it's probably one of the purest forms of engagement you can get with the board is by coming to one of our events, right? And, we're talking about ways for realtors to track progress and follow along. Show up at the AGM, right? And listen to some of the speakers that we bring in, follow along with some of what we're doing. Or like you're saying, the barbecues, the baseball games where you can get some clients out and enjoying some of these things, right?
So, exactly. And rub shoulders. Like it's still a people business, right? And there's it's kind of belly to belly at times, and so if we can help facilitate that human connection, that'll help. And so I think we're really on the right path here. We're going to do something magical.
Yeah, we're on a critical path, and we're we're well down it. And so I think this is a great spot to just say thank you so much for being here and talking to us today and helping us get this new podcast launched. We're really excited to bring lots of new information and innovation to our members through this podcast and help them really discover some of the exciting stuff we're doing for them. So thanks for shedding some light on this plan, Jeff. We really appreciate it.
Happy to be here, Jesse. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is going to be amazing.
I want to thank Jeff for joining us today. I want to thank you all for listening. We're doing this every month to explore professionalism and innovation that Greater Vancouver Realtors need to know about. I'm Jesse Lill, I'm your host, and we'll see you on the next Critical Path.